And it's good to be back. Welcome to Third Coast Sports TV. I'm your host, Wink. It's been a minute since I can give y'all a live stream. It's been like 2 weeks, man. It's good to be back. Had a couple of issues that I had to take care of over the last couple of weeks. Haven't really been on the sauce like that. Done some calls here and there. And before I get into the video, to everybody that supports Sauce Sports, make sure that you guys go ahead and go to Honcho's channel and click on his description box. Donate $5 to his Streamlabs so that he can continue the sauce because he has a prior opportunity and he's doing everything that he can. He needs the support of everybody of the Den and everybody who supports Sauce Nation to go ahead and make sure that y'all go ahead and send Honcho some major love, man, so that he can continue doing the sauce. We'll be doing the sauce later on tonight. Later on tonight, I'll be on because I've been away for quite some time, but we're about to go ahead and get on into it. Welcome everybody to the stream. Hey, Rico, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Homicide nigga, I see you in here. I see y'all going here and y'all starting to fly on up in here, man. Lil K, what's going on with it, big homie? I appreciate everybody that's coming through, man. As y'all come in, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Um, we're gonna be discussing a couple of things that Brian Game went over, as well as some of the free agents, that we have coming up and who we could potentially get if they end up making a bunch of moves. T Flores, what's good? Wise, what's good? Man, it feels good to be back, man. I haven't been away for a couple of weeks, man. So y'all party my tardiness. I've been in here in the mix a little here and there, but we gonna go ahead and we're gonna get back to the regular scheduled program. I'm waiting for a few more of y'all to go ahead and get in here before we can go ahead and get this topic started. Hey Zeus, what's going on? Y'all let me know how everything sounds on the stream. If everything is looking pretty good. Make sure I'm all right, man. We want to make sure I'm giving y'all the best quality I can give y'all as it stands right now. All right, cool, 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 cool. I see some of these damn people that's in here. They dropping off. All right, Lil K, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Wise. I think we're gonna go ahead, just go ahead and gonna get into it, man. So the first thing that we're gonna start discussing today, we're gonna probably go over some of the things that you guys have been hearing from Brian Gay and Bill O'Brien as it pertains to this offseason. Now, pretty much what I can read, it sounds to me as if Brian Gain wants to do more for this team than Bill O'Brien actually does as a head coach. And the reason for me saying this is because he said a lot of things that were going to implicate where dudes will play, who will end up getting contracts. He went around a couple of issues, but it seemed to me as if he knows who he wants to keep and he knows exactly who he does not want to keep. Now, for starters, let's go ahead and get into the Bill O'Brien side because he was a little bit on the negative end. Jared, what's going on, man? Yeah, save Soft Sports. You goddamn right. We finna start that on a hashtag on Twitter or something. Matter of fact, yeah, we finna go ahead. You already coined it, so we gonna go ahead. We gonna make sure that Honcho, bro, we fuck with Honcho. We gonna make sure that Honcho stay live, man, and he can keep continuing giving us all of the sauce, man. Trust me, we gonna everybody gonna support him, and everybody gonna come out in full effect, man, because y'all got to show up and show out. But when it comes to Bill O'Brien, I really think, yeah, yeah, T Flores, you'll be able to check into it when his video that he posted earlier. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stay on topic. Um, Bill O'Brien didn't really seem too enthusiastic about what he really wanted to do with the team. And some of the things that he said, he's going to end up prolonging a lot of mediocre talent as well as a mediocre scheme. And it's already come out that, you know, to me, even though I know he's saying that he wants, Deontay Foreman and shit like that to play, and it was hard on him and a lot of other guys. You got to understand that's Deontay Foreman is not his type of. It's not. I just see it. Deontay Foreman is just not his type of guy. I don't see him being on this team. Past this off. Past maybe the preseason. I think by the time preseason comes, he's gonna end up probably being cut, unless they go ahead and they go out and try to find other options. And it really, to me, it doesn't seem that Bill O'Brien is doing everything he can to explore all options because he tiptoed around every single question that the guys in the media were asking him. As far as the only thing he even somewhat got excited about was when it came to the Honey Badger, and somebody asked him about Kareem Jackson, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to get in those financial talks and this and that." And it was pretty much along the lines like business is gonna happen. You know, the nature of the business. You know, we look like we're trying to go with a different type of corner slash safety in the next coming season. But then he proceeded to say that, oh, I want Honey Badger. Honey Badger brings a lot to not just the locker room, but on the field and this and that. And he was just raving about Honey Badger. So the fact that they're pretty much, on board, I think Honey Badger, and you see tweets from Honey Badger. I just seen a tweet from Honey Badger earlier where somebody had retweeted or posted. I want to say it was Texans Palace, somebody like that on IG, and in an Instagram story, it had a tweet of him saying, "Who said I was leaving?" I knew he wasn't really. I mean, until we actually see this man get a contract, it's. I won't say it's a guarantee that he gets signed, but I have a good 80% chance in my gut to say that he does get signed, probably before anybody. I don't think he's going to end up resetting the safety market because the safety market has dwindled down over the last couple of years. I seen somebody in the South saying the other day when it came to safeties getting paid, he acted as if safeties were getting paid. Bro, safeties are only getting paid like $8-9 million a year. That's not much for a top end safety in the league, especially who's going to be able to give you the type of production and leadership that the Honey Badger provides for the Houston Texans secondary. Um, when it came to JD, it's like he was reluctant to really go in and say that, you know, he didn't have the same type of enthusiasm. And it was kind of funny because I was listening to 610 earlier, and I forgot, I want to say it was when Landry and John Lopez that ended up coming on because I just wanted to hear what they were kind of talking about because the notification had went off on my phone for the live feed that the Houston Texans were doing, and I was listening to Brian Gaine and Bill O'Brien's commentary about at the combine, and one of the major things that he kept harping on was just how good he is, as a person. But what about his talent? What about what he brings to the field? He didn't necessarily say that JD is a game record. We need this man on this football team, and we're going to make sure that he gets signed to a long-term deal. Because the only person that he truly vouched for in that essence, from where you could pick up in his body language and his voice inflection, was the Honey Badger. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this Jadeveon Clowney situation. And the one of the worst things that he said, and somebody just said it in the chat, him wanting to start Chantrell Henderson at the right tackle, and the fact is already going to let you know this offseason either they have bigger plans and they feel that more needs are pressing, and they feel that Deshaun Watson's talent is going to have to supersede their scheme, is already of a huge concern to me. Because for one, you have a player who didn't play any snaps when the season started. I think in the first series or something like that, he got injured for the year. Now, this man is going to come back and he gives you some of the measurables, and he has some of the nastiness that you may look for when it comes to judging right tackles who play at a high level in this league. But the man has not really done much to garner getting repaid. And also, like what he did last year is not going to matter this year in what he did in practice. So not only are you having to come back to nurse an injury, now you have to make sure you don't get injured in training camp and or in the off season before the season starts, so that you can be one of the focal points in the offense in terms of pass protection. But it's just like they're already saying that, in my mind, the way that I'm taking it, they're just not impressed with some of these offensive linemen that they don't feel any offensive lineman at the tackle spot is going to be able to take his spot. And I was pretty much right when I called in the sauce the other night, and I said that because he may be taking into consideration that we went 11-5 with these bums. But what he's not taking into consideration is the fact that he had one of the easiest schedules, and they squeaked by in a bunch of winnable games that weren't even supposed to be that close. That's what he's not taking into account. What he's not taking into account is exploiting matchups. What he's not taking into account is player personnel. What he's not taking into account is constantly playing dudes out of position and making sure that they're in spots where they can thrive on this football team on a week in, week out basis. This is what concerns me about Bill O'Brien, and this is why I've been clamoring for years to get this man up out of here. I wanted him out of here after his third year. The 2015 season, I was done with him because I could see we were going nowhere fast. The year that we get Deshaun Watson, you put him in a situation, where the O line sucks. You got constantly rotating parts. Um, everybody was getting injured, so he's entirely too stubborn. Wise, I totally agree with you, and I'm gonna get to some of you guys' points in just a minute, but I just wanted to make my spill. And it's crazy the way that this man goes on and on and on about guys who have not contributed to the football team and they get to absolve cap space. I am not cool with that. Bro, these dudes can't get on the field because we all know the best ability is availability. And if these guys aren't available, why in the hell are we going to extend them contracts? Why are they getting fifth year options like Kevin Johnson when they've really proven nothing on the field? You let go of AJ Boye in the hopes of elevating the secondary, and you end up looking foolish on not only to just the fans but the rest of the league because you're constantly letting talent walk away on this team. And one of the tight ends that you just cut, who Steven Anderson, bro, I love Steven Anderson. If you had Steven Anderson in place of Ryan Griffin along with Jordan Akins and Jordan Thomas, that would be a lethal tight end core. We wouldn't have to invest in the tight end core at all, and people wouldn't be rejecting Noah Fant to come to the Houston Texans if you had somebody in place of Ryan Griffin to take that mantle, which I believe Jordan Thomas's job to win. I think if anybody can go out and win this job, and the fact that he had 5 touchdowns last year within a 3-4 week time period. The man had size. The man was able to run. He have length, bro. He has a lot of strength, and he has height that is going to make difference in the that's going to make a huge difference in the red zone and on third downs. He can high point the ball as well as Jordan Akins can. But it's going to take this coaching staff to elevate the team because, like Honcho said on the sauce the other night, the talent has been carrying this team that fucking the talent has been carrying this team for years, and Bill O'Brien has not been able to get across the hump because not only does he not have the right assistants in at premier coaching, coaching spots on this football team, but they're not receptive to your scheme, and not everybody has bought into your game plan because they know it sucks. They know you can do better, and he's already taken the responsibilities. And tell me if I'm wrong. Did I not hear this the right way? He's still gonna be calling plays. He's still going to be calling plays. So at the end of the day, I'm even more worried. And it's just like he wants input. He wants this to where guys can be able to put in some input. Bro, you made this man an offensive coordinator for a reason. I couldn't be totally on board with Tim Kelly because at the end of the day, he didn't do a great job with the tight ends that we had over the last 4 or 5 years. And I want to say he's been here from the entire time that Bill O'Brien has been here, but yet somehow the tight ends in the Houston Texans have not performed well outside of 1 year where Brock Osweiler was completely reliant on tight ends. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. It makes absolutely no sense to me, and it just looks like we're in a we're in for a long ride, man. I mean, are we going to enjoy it? Who's to know? We can't make any aspersions or say anything when it comes to what this team is going to do until we see actual from game one on. Because the preseason, I'm not going to get fooled by it. I'm not going to get fooled by seeing things in the schematics. It seemed like shit that they were running in the preseason was better than they ran throughout the season. And it's concerning to me. And it also sounds like they want to fill out positions like wide receiver and running back, but where's the necessity for corners? Now, one thing that I can say, because I'm about to get into what Brian Gain was talking about. Brian Gain was talking about, inside pass rush, which we don't have a lot of. And we ran some 4-3, but the 4-3 that we ran was not beneficial, and dudes were not rushing enough. And I don't think you ran enough stunts. You ran enough crosses and dogs. I don't think you didn't even blitz enough to get a lot of pressure that you could get, because I'm not sure if it's a lack of strength. I'm not sure if it's a lack of play calling, execution, or it could be all of the above. But I do agree that we do need an inside pass rusher, but I honestly believe we have one in Carlos Watkins, but he's just not getting the time next to DJ Reader to be the defensive pass rusher on the at the D tackle spot that we need. I mean, I'm not really sure exactly why in the hell this man does not get play more often. I do understand you do want to run bigger schemes, and who's to say what they're gonna end up doing with Angelo Blackson, Brandon Dunn, all those guys? Because as it stands to me right now, I don't think any of those guys are gonna be resigned. Maybe Covington at the very most, but anybody else, I don't really think that is gonna end up happening. But one thing that I can say that was a very good advantage of what I said that we should be doing along with other people, and I'm gonna be doing some boxing in just a little while. I'm gonna do some boxing next week, T Flores, because the Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fight. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna drop a video probably this weekend about that, about how I see the fight, who gonna end up winning and why, and I'm gonna be doing stuff that whole week of the fight when it comes to that fight on March 16th. And that day just so happens to be my daughter's birthday. But that fight comes on at night, so her ass gonna be in the bed anyway. So back to the topic at hand. Brian Gaine did say one of the things that he did say that I keyed on was the fact that he wanted more length at the corner spot. I think he knows that the fact that these guys keep getting burnt, and even when they are in position, they just can't make the plays that they need because they don't have the length, they don't have the speed, or they don't have the agility to stay in the hip pocket to make plays when it's time for them to make a play. If the pass rush is providing some semblance of pressure, and then if the cornerbacks and or safeties can't get to guys who are going downfield and they can't make any pass breakups or anything like that, then he's probably looking, man, hey, I understand we've done this for quite some time, but these shorter guys have been killing us. And even if the guys that are taller are not as fast or don't have the amount of agility that they have, they're going to be able to make up the speed with the length that they have. That's a major reason why Richard Sherman was as good as he was for so long, because him being 6'3" and having, I don't know exactly what his wingspan was, but I can almost guarantee you, man, the man's wingspan had to be every bit of 7'3" or some shit like that. So it was easy for him to extend his body fully to be able to be in spots, and guys really couldn't glove on him like that unless you were a guy like Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, somebody of that nature. You had to be a top receiver, or you had to be very fast, because those are the only type of guys that he really suffered against, and that's the guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Jackson, Will Fuller, and Antonio Brown, because those guys are very shifty, and if he can't press you and once you get a free release, then there's no way you were pretty much going to be able to make up, their speed if those type of individuals got past you. So I can kind of see that for Brian Gaine, it looks like he wants to get D tackle. It looks like he wants to fill a spot in at wide receiver, because to him it sounds as if he feels we don't have enough depth. Too many guys were going down, and he wants to make sure that Deshaun Watson has all of the assets that he needs outside of Chantrell Henderson playing at right tackle, for all the protection. Yeah, and that's the only thing about me that is really getting him, because I'm not sure if this is a Bill O'Brien move or a Brian Gaine move to make sure that Chantrell Henderson is still on this football team. What I am waiting to see from Brian Gaine is to see if he lets go of Kareem Jackson, Ryan Griffin, Kevin Johnson. You can let go of Brandon Dunn. You can actually keep. I'm cool with moving on from Carter, but I would want Brian Gaine honestly to keep Carter, because I feel that what he was able to do, in the return game and in spots when he did need to step in, I really felt like he would be able to do something. And I feel you can get somebody at a cheaper price to take care of Brandon Dunn's spot. I think what you get from Brandon Dunn, you can get that from Carlos Watkins and more. So it's no real reason to really keep Brandon Dunn on this team. And I think they're looking for a way. Angelo Blackson is cool. I like every last one of those guys that we have at the D tackle spot. But they need to get more athletic. They need to find guys with more pass rushing moves and guys who can really get to the quarterback, because let's just face it, all you have is a bunch of run stuffers. And if you don't have any athleticism, if you don't have any guys that can swim, any guys that have speed to power, and dudes that can push the pocket, what's the point of always having big guys like Brandon Dunn, Angelo Blackson, and Covington on this football team? And out of all of them, Covington has the most potential and has shown the ability to be able to get to legitimate quarterbacks. He got to Tom Brady last year. He had one and a half sacks on Tom Brady last year. He had like 3 sacks against Marcus Mariota, a divisional rival who can hurt you if he gets outside of the pocket. So I'm willing to concede that we should keep, Christian Covington, but a lot of these other guys, and Brendan Scarlett, I believe Brendan Scarlett showed you enough, and he provides depth in the outside linebacker spot that's going to end up needing a lot of depth if you don't decide what you're going to end up doing with Jadeveon Clowney. And I think if you end up moving Jadeveon Clowney to a DN spot, you definitely have to keep and or rotate a guy like Dylan Cole to an outside linebacker position, because if we run a 4-3, the lineup at linebacker spot should be Cunningham at the wheel, McKinney as the mic, Cole as the wheel. I'm sorry, and Cunningham as the Sam. I think if you have that, rotation, that's enough speed. That's enough guys who can stop the run, and they have length, and they're good in pass coverage. So it's totally up to this team at this point in time, because we can give suggestions as fans. We can sit here and clamor and say what this team should and shouldn't do, but it's all up to them, man. We don't really know what the hell they're gonna do. But I'm gonna go through the comments and read some of the suggestions and see what some of you guys are saying, because I know you guys been typing in the chat. I see some of y'all going back and forth with Clarence and shit like that. I don't know what you said, Clarence, but we finna go ahead and find out, man, because you got these dudes in a frenzy. This motherfucker say, yeah, man, they're looking at running backs in the draft. Yeah, and that's crazy that they want to have an extra emphasis, because that just means to me either Lamar Miller is getting shopped, he's going to end up being released, and or they want Foreman to step up, see if he can go ahead and make sure that he can retain his value past this season, because I honestly don't see him making it past this season. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I mean, I see people out here saying they're doing this and they're doing that, but so we should just forget about Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is not out of the question. Until we actually see Le'Veon Bell get picked up by another team, I'm not willing to concede that Le'Veon Bell is not in the cards, because you can't say you want a team that's going to have championship ability, but then you don't want to get a running back who can help your quarterback and your defense kill clock, take the time, and make easier decisions for your head coach / offensive coordinator to call plays for. To me, that makes sense, and still having a guy, because I feel like if you keep him on the team and have Miller and or Foreman, you can do so much with a 3-back set. I want to say it was Cecil Shorts who was on Sports Radio 610 earlier, and he was talking about that. Like running 3 backs and then having like 2 wide receivers and or, a tight end or whatever you want to do, that's too much speed on the field, because a lot of linebackers are not going to be able to cover those type of guys in space. And if you have a thumper like Foreman, like you're going to be able to do so much in the power game and in short yardage situations where he's going to be able to drag defenders across the line. So let me go ahead and get back to some of y'all comments, because I see Clarence is talking about it sucks to be a Texans fan and all of this little shit, bro. A Jaguars fan, it's got to be hard to do that. Y'all don't do shit until 10 years pass. I mean, so I don't know how easy it is to be a Jags fan, but okay. Let's see. Good on my own. Okay, I didn't scroll back way too far. What is the buzz about the Texans going after Bill? I mean, we don't really have any buzz. I mean, you have a lot of national pundits out here saying that, we have the best chance and it would be probably the smartest move to get him, which it would be the smartest move. I think it's a smart move. I think if you get Le'Veon Bell, you retain all of the guys that need to be retained on this football team, and you add maybe a guard and or a tackle to a decent contract. I don't see any reason why that won't be a phenomenal offseason by Brian Gaine and the Houston Texans coaching staff. I mean, because what you're gonna do And free agency is going to dictate a whole lot what you're going to do in the draft and what becomes a necessity for you. Because if he does shit and he gets like two wide receivers in this draft, I don't see, because he got like two tight ends in the draft last year, and like it didn't make any sense at all. It didn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm not sure if it made any sense to y'all when we should have clearly drafted like two O linemen. We could have used the linemen. I mean, we drafted two tight ends. We drafted, I want to say, like two corners at the end of the draft that didn't even make any impact. So we'll see, man. I'm not really sold on what the staff is doing. I'm not liking what I'm hearing. I like some things that I heard from Brian Game, but what Bill O'Brien is talking about, he concerns me. And they need to go ahead and give Jadeveon Clowney his fucking contract. I heard Cecil Short say just the other day that he said that he has ties where Clowney supposedly got a contract last year and turned it down. For whatever reason, I don't know how privy he would be to a situation like that. I don't see who he would be so cool with that they would relay that type of information to him personally. And honestly, it doesn't even really make any sense to me, or why. To me, I don't even know why Cecil Shorts is still in fucking Houston. I mean, I understand the city is live. I understand, your scenery. It's a lot to do and shit like that. But honestly, from a football perspective, I don't see why he's not back in Jacksonville doing some commentary. Now, maybe he just happens to like Houston more than likes Jacksonville. I don't know, but that's a conversation I would love to have with him, before it comes to anything else, because I don't see any reason how he would get some information as another man's contract, but somehow no details about the contract came out. Not what they offered, not what he was willing to turn down, and where his mind is. Because I don't like when people come out and say what a man is worth, what this man should and shouldn't be getting, and how it's going to end up hindering the team. And what kills me about people who talk about Jadeveon Clowney getting a contract, people act like we have an absorbent amount of stars on this team who are getting heavy contracts. JJ Watt and DeAndre Hopkins are the only two players in this franchise who are getting any top dollars. That's it. Fucking Whitney Mercilus is getting hoes, and we might end up either trading or letting this man go. I don't understand what it is. I don't know exactly what's going to end up happening, but this offseason is more than likely is going to end up getting interesting for us in a negative or a positive way. And yeah, Hopkins got a cheap contract when you really consider his contract. Nobody is really getting, like, Bernard McKinney's only making like $8 million a year. That's nothing. Honey Badger, if he signs his contract, at the very most, he might get $9 to $10 million a season, maybe, and that's in the first couple of years of his contract. As his contract wanes down, more than likely he's probably going to be pulling in between $6 to $8 million a season. Just depending on his contract. He already got one big major contract, a $60 million contract from the Arizona Cardinals. I see no reason why he would be getting a major contract, regardless if he's 26 or not. He's been in the league. He's had some injuries. He's new to a situation. And I just don't see the Houston Texans overpaying for a safety. I just don't. I want Honey Badger on this team, but when I think about the semantics of how this team has operated over the years, why am I to believe that he's going to get a contract over $45 million? I just don't see that. Um, I'm trying to take in another consideration, because I feel we need to go ahead. If you're not going to extend Whitney Mercilus this offseason, and if you end up trading this man, you might as well get like a third and a fifth. You need to go ahead and get something, or a third and a fourth, or something like that, because Whitney Mercilus can add a lot of value to the right team as a premium pass rusher in this league. And if he goes in the right situation, because I see no scenario if the man trades, if we trade this man, that he's not gonna land on the team that really needs him. You know, yeah, he's always up there, man. And Amos, who you talking about? Adrian Amos from the Bears. That's who you talking about. What's going on, Auto Dialogue? Oh, shout out to the rest of everybody else. Shout out to Jay Bird, Brandon 335, David Pritchard. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Clarence because I ain't shout you out. But let's see who else we got in here real quick. That's all I see right now. Shout out, I already shouted out Lil K. Shout out to everybody, man. All the dialogue, man. Be putting out a bunch of information about Tupac. If y'all Tupac fans, y'all like the little conspiracies and shit like that. Y'all like knowing about Tupac's life. Y'all make sure y'all go check out all the dialogue on Twitter, Facebook, fucking IG, and on YouTube. Clowney cannot even cover playing the position where it requires you to cover at times. Bro, Jadeveon Clowney hasn't let up a pass in over 4 years. The only time he let up a pass was the second year he came back from his meniscus tear. Yeah, Eric, what's going on? Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, he's dropped in the coverage, man. He's just not. He has not let up any passing yards in years. I mean, he can do both, but the responsibilities that he has playing DN versus playing outside linebacker, you can tell it still gets to him. You can tell, man, that's gonna be a good fight. I think Danny J going. I mean, I think Danny J gonna edge him out, bro. But I won't be surprised if Canelo gets the win. I will not be surprised at all. The occasional football fan won't sack. Yeah, man, I care about a dude wrecking the game. Sacks is cool. I'm not gonna argue against sacks. Sacks is a great stat line to have as a pass rusher. But to be honest, this man does so much in the run pass game that he does so much on both sides and he alters, your blocking scheme. That's what people don't talk about. When we talk about Jadeveon Clowney and how you have to shade dudes over to him. It's taking two and three guys. Sometimes it's not very often that he can match up one on one and somebody's gonna stonewall him at the line. It's not too often that really happens. I mean, yeah, truer times, and that's just guys with great technique. I think his technique still has some faults. It's still some pass rushing moves and things like that he can learn. And I think, like I said a few weeks ago when I called in, I wasn't on the show and I called in, and to be honest, you have to have a certain amount of bend at both positions. You have to have way more bend because you're coming around at a longer distance when you're rushing from the outside as an outside linebacker. It's a shorter distance when you're a defensive end, having to bend your way, crank your hips and finish the tackle, towards the quarterback when you're a defensive end. So it's a lot of things that this team does not take in consideration schematically when it comes to maximizing his skill set, but it's up to the Houston Texans to figure it out. It really is. It's up to him to go ahead and make sure that this team does everything that they can to win football games. Because as it stands right now, Jadeveon Clowney and people who say that we should trade or sign him to a franchise tag and all that shit for what? So you're gonna spend 20 million on him in one season because that's pretty much what he's gonna end up getting for one season anyway. Then you want to turn right around to see if he does a prove deal and you already out of 18 million, where you could go ahead and give him his contract where he'll go ahead and get that and he already has the bonus money out of the way over the first 2 years. So people are suggesting that we franchise tag Jadeveon Clowney, pay him in excess of 19-20 million for one season to prove that he can get a big contract from us. Then you want to turn around, give him a big contract once he shows whatever y'all guys are out here clamoring for him to do. Then you want to give him a good contract, and then his bonus is going to kick in over the first 2 years, and it puts you in a supposed cap situation. Why not have a situation and give him the money now? That way, when it's time to pay Deshaun Watson, his time of what he's already owed is already front loaded in his contract, and you can give Deshaun Watson exactly what he wants when his time comes. Because, like I said, you don't have a lot of guys on this football team who have contracts that can hinder us down the line. You don't. You only have two legitimate stars getting paid, and you're a little late. I've been streaming for like 34 minutes. I'm gonna be going for like another 10 minutes or so because I see that the notifications, got sent out pretty slow. It's been pretty decent in here, for the time that we've been going. But I appreciate everybody to come through. Shout out to Jay Dizzle, B Shell. I mean, but can y'all agree with that? What sense does it really make to give Jadeveon Clowney a fucking franchise tag that he does not, and people always act like the franchise tag is a guarantee for the player that they have to sign it, bro. A person, they can give you the franchise tag all they want. A fucking player does not have to accept no franchise tag. If the man want to get paid, he gonna get paid right now. It is kind of smart to take franchise tags at premium positions like running back because let's face it, the money that you're gonna end up getting as a running back in free agency when you test it, you're gonna make more testing free agency, on with the franchise tag than you would on an actual contract. So Le'Veon Bell actually taking those two years, back to back with franchise tags, I can almost guarantee you he made more in those 2 years than he would have made over the course of 3 years getting a major contract from, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand he's gonna end up paying some taxes on that money, but it's not gonna be anywhere to what he would had he had a normal contract. Yeah, I don't understand. The only reason, the only real reason, the only legitimate reason not to give Jadeveon Clowney a contract right now is if they choose not to run a full time 4-3 and he's not a defensive end full time. If you want to do this, make sure. I'm not saying that at times you can't put him in situations where he's rushing over guards and centers. I'm not saying it's no time that he shouldn't do that. But to say that you want to freelance him, you want to move him all the way around and do this and do that, bro, you're not maximizing his talent and you're not putting yourself in a situation where you can always have the best chance of getting to the quarterback. And because we're going to be playing a lot of legitimate quarterbacks with good defenses, why do you not want your quarterback on your team to have the ball as much as you can when Jadeveon Clowney, along with everybody else that you have in that front seven and the back end, can get the ball back to Deshaun Watson to put points on the board? That makes sense to me. And it kills me with Houston fans, and I can kind of see why other franchises and a lot of other people don't take us serious because some of the shit that gets suggested by fans is just unrealistic. It doesn't make any sense. You want us to trade all of this because let's just be real. We are not going to be in a situation and we will not be on the best part of the receiving end if we were to trade Jadeveon Clowney to any other team. I guarantee you, we will get the shit end of the stick and he will make this team pay in the process. And I almost guarantee you within 2 years, he'll have a championship. If Jadeveon Clowney left the Houston Texans today and he went to a team, I guarantee you, Jadeveon Clowney will probably do some shit. And I know the Patriots, they inquired about him. The Patriots, as much as we like to talk about other teams in the division that he could honestly go to, because he's not going to no team like the Raiders. I do not agree with that. Why would he go backwards with a lesser quarterback and a lesser defense where he has to carry all? I'm not saying he can't carry all the weight because he's carried it for us when Whitney Mercilus and J.J. Watt went down. So it's not that he can't carry the load. But why would I want him in a situation where he's not on the right side of the ball? And I do agree with Texas Steve. He should be going against right tackles as the money position if you really want to see a lot of the sack production that people are clamoring for. But to act like the man is not going to be able to dominate on any team that he goes to, I guarantee you fans are going to be like, well, why couldn't he do that? We've been telling y'all the whole time. The reason why the man cannot do what he's supposed to be doing in sack production is some of it is technically. I will say he does have to refine some of his technique. I'm not going to say that he doesn't over pursue. He doesn't over pursue, and at sometimes he's not undisciplined. Because I'm willing to go ahead and say that he does have things that he has to work on, but I'm not just going to make it seem like he does nothing wrong at all. I'm not going to say that. But what the man does right, he does it well. I can't. If we lose Jadeveon Clowney, watch teams gonna be able to run over us like they're gonna be able to run on us like they were doing in 2015. They're gonna be able to do it like they did in 2012 when we lost Brian Cushing and when we didn't have Sean Cody and a lot of these guys up front to handle the responsibilities on the edge. Y'all think Jadeveon Clowney and y'all think not getting these teams in early -3 to 8 yard losses is not maximizing the pass rush on this defense? Y'all are asleep. The play calls and the execution have not always gone the way that it's supposed to. But as far as what the man does on first and second and third downs, especially first and second down, those are the key downs. Those are the key downs. If you really need your linebacking core and your fucking back end to really step up on third down to make sure that they keep cushions in front of them, to make sure that they able to read and react. That way that they can get you in situations where you're not crossing the line of scrimmage at the 10-yard line. It makes no sense for you to let this man go when the man is still developing. He gets the y'all don't even realize. Y'all know who he sacked the most, bro? He sacked Tom Brady the most of any quarterback since he's been in the league. Why would I want to let a player like that go who can get to Tom Brady anytime he wants to? H-Town Slim, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. I mean, but how are y'all feeling about what I'm talking? Is it making more sense to keep Jadeveon Clowney after what I'm saying? Because I've been taking a lot of time off. I've been seeing a lot of shit y'all been saying. I haven't been on the show with Honcho in a couple of weeks now. But sitting back and really thinking about a lot of things and hearing some of the things that people are saying when they call in on the show, it makes all the sense in the world to keep this man. And if you lose him, bro, we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. Not no time soon. Hey, safe to say, J.J. Watt is getting older. He only has maybe a 2 to 3 year window to play exactly the way that he did in him this year. And who do you no longer believe in? You saying you don't believe in Clowney, or you don't believe in OB, or what? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying by that. You're gonna have to specify, Jay Dizzle. He should be. You talking about Clowney should be the number one priority. But Jay Dizzle, hear me and feel. Do you hear or feel what I'm saying? JJ Watt is gonna be 30 this month. The man got 2 more years to play at a high level, 2 to 3 years, like I said. And if he doesn't have any setbacks, none of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. The only like I said, I was making my way to this point is it was that the only reason why it's not the righteous thing to do when it comes to paying Clowney, and Jay Dizzle touched on this in the call, is if you don't put him in the right scheme. But we all know if the man gets in the right scheme, he's gonna be able to propel himself to a different stratosphere of pass rush. Especially if he refines his technique. Because there's nobody athletically gifted like him in the league, or never or ever has been. I don't know anybody of his size, his frame, that had that type of acceleration, that type of power, that type of, like, he be manhandling dudes with like one hand, like one fucking arm. Like, I done watched him push Menelik Watson, like Colecchio Simile. Like, he handled Tyron Smith, who's like one of the best left tackles in the game. A lot of people love to sit here and talk about, yeah, he was getting stood up by old dude. Ashman, what's going on? People love to say, oh man, tight ends was handling them, bro. But he handled a lot of the best left tackles too. Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers is the only other guy, him and maybe Javon Curse are probably the only other two athletes that were that size who had that freakish ability that were just, man, like, yeah, oh yeah, Lawan, bro, he gives Lawan work, bro. I saw him handle Quentin Nelson. Yeah, Quentin Nelson came back, combated, learned some things, refined some things, and knew where he could make plays against Jadeveon Clowney when it came time to play him the last 2 games that we played. But to sit here and act like dudes is just out here handling Clowney on a week in, week out basis, we all know that shit ain't true. We all know that ain't true. Short yardage, bro, you don't want it with Jadeveon Clowney. The man is slicing through the backfield, and you name me one other defender out here who's handling the likes of Ezekiel Elliott. He treated Todd Gurley like a hoe. Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, when we played them last year. Like, we've played a lot of running backs over the last couple of years. New England can't do nothing against us in the running game. That's why Tom Brady had to pass the ball like 40, 50 times, because they know Jadeveon Clowney makes all the difference. He single-handedly made that team one-dimensional the last few times that we have played. Since Jadeveon Clowney has been here and he's been healthy. Like, how many games have we really let over 100 yards? Seriously. And I'm not talking about combined yards like, oh, a fucking a quarterback helped take that off. I'm talking about 100-yard running back on a consistent basis getting 100 yards. Outside of Marlon Mack and what he was able to do this past playoff game. Outside of that, who's when it comes to your mind, who has been able to do that? Lamar Miller is the only other dude that I can say, and he had a great game. And guess what? On the other side of the football, I don't even think was that the six. No, that was the 16 season. I was about to say because JJ played that season. So you're right, but we were weak when it came to the interior, and we didn't have the linebacker play as well. We didn't have great outside linebackers, and this man came off a meniscus tear and was like second in the league against the run in his first year playing 13 games in a 16-game season. I'm not willing to say that this man does not add value. And bro, Clarence, bro, we told motherfuckers not to saw. We told motherfuckers not to sign Colvin. Bro, you ain't telling us nothing that nobody don't know already. The only motherfucker who was even on your side, who was even against that's a Texans fan was Ed Man. He was the only one talking to Aaron Colvin up. Aaron Colvin can't even beat out Sharice Wright, and I made that point a few weeks ago on the sauce. The bitch was healthy the last 8 weeks and couldn't even outplay Sharice Wright, who led up 4 or 5 touchdowns the last 4 games on the same route. 2 of which were to the same team that we played in the playoffs. So you ain't telling us nothing we don't know. Real football fans know Colvin was trash. Colvin ain't finna be on this team. Oh, and that's another thing. When it came to Aaron Colvin, I think John McClain asked when at the combine, he asked Brian Gaine how he felt about, and he was like he ain't impressed with Colvin, and you can tell when he said that either he misjudged Colvin or he really took in consideration the analytics of PFF and or what everybody around him was telling him, but he knew otherwise. That's the type of demeanor he had. Like, it was like, bro, we was killing him with Brian Hoyer. I was here when this was happening. This dude is not the move. But he got baited and suckered in because this is what Bill O'Brien wanted. Because you can tell Romeo Crennel didn't want him, because if he did, how do you justify paying dude $9 million in his first year and he was playing fucking special teams? I don't understand how a player that can make that much money is playing special teams. And if he does play, he doesn't play until the very end of the game if we're up or, we're in a prevent situation and he just has to be on the field. Aaron Colvin sucks. Yeah, I think the corner, we should get a corner first. We can get a corner first, and we can fix our offensive line, bro, in the second round easy. Easy. I'm not get a corner first. Because you're not going to address corner unless you're going to address corner. And honestly, even if you do address corner, because you're going to end up, more than likely, you're going to end up losing. You're going to need to address corner probably twice in free agency, and you're going to end up having to get corner again, a top-notch corner that you can help develop early on. I say corner with the first pick, absolutely. Andre Dillard and a couple of other guys, those are the only kind of guys you're going to miss out on. Reisner, Lindstrom, Kajuste, a lot of other guys, bro, they can be had in the second round. People keep talking like dudes are just going to be getting picked up like that in the first round. Offensive linemen's finna be. No, they are not. A lot of guys already got bookend left tackles. A lot of guys already got guys that they develop or are in the process of developing on the offensive line over the last couple of years because they just drafted these guys. Why are people making it seem like a lot of these left tackles or left guards and shit like that is finna go early and they haven't? Corner the first round, hands down. Corner the first. I've been saying that. Period. Especially once I started scouting these guys, I'm like, bro, you can wait. It is no reason for you to having to go up. You do not have to move up. If you can get Armani, you can get Greedy, bro. I saw when I was watching the combine today. And when I was watching some of, I think John Gruden was up at the podium or some shit like that. I'm not sure if this was a rerun or whatever. But I seen a situation where it said Greedy Williams was projected to go like 34th overall. I was like, what? I was like, you can't be, no. And no, he's not. Ashmael, that's blasphemy, bro. Just stop. Just stop. I'm not even gonna waste no time. Yeah, dude from Armani, the dude from Penn State. Yeah. I don't know what Ashmael talking about. He probably just saw a bad game or something like that. Maybe he talking about his frame or something like that. I'm not sure. But Greedy Williams, in terms of skill set, is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. We need somebody who can lock down, who can press. He's like 6'1". We need like yes, yeah, he's 6'2". Yeah, come on, bro. 6'1", 6'2". That's exactly what we need. Bro, you can bulk up, bro. I'm not worried about that. You can bulk up. You can bulk up, bro. I mean, Kareem. I mean, Johnson was 130 pounds when he was here, and corners are naturally small anyway. Yeah, you saying the man is 198? Come on, man. He can pick up 15 extra pounds in the offseason, 10 extra pounds to be 208, and then when the season form by next year, he can be like at 6'2", he can afford to be 215. Yeah, they said the exact same shit about exactly. Thank you, Wise. I already made this point. The lack of speed and the lack of 40 speed is going to end up making for his closing speed. And the fact that the man has the length to be able to reach out, and he ain't bigger than Richard Sherman. No, he ain't. Richard Sherman then settled into his man body than playing in the fucking NFL. And Richard Sherman at all, even though he's lanky, he has to be like 220 pounds, 225 at least. You can look at Richard Sherman and tell, and even as he's getting older, you can tell by the way when his face and shit like that is starting to, as you get older, your face and shit like that start to get bigger. I can tell he handles weight totally different than he did in the 2011, 2013 season. Yeah, it don't make no sense to yeah. He seems more like Ramsey. Ramsey is a solid corner. Yeah, I think if you talking about Bills, Patrick Peterson and Ramsey probably are ideal build wise. You always want guys to have like Jonathan Joseph's speed, when in their first 4 years, because Jonathan Joseph when he was playing with the Bengals, even when we first got J. Joe in the 2011 season, J. Joe can run with the best of them. J. Joe can still run with the best of them. Honestly, he ain't really lost a lot of speed, but I think when you get deep on him and you break in on certain routes, it's just certain routes he can be had on. And that's pretty much the thing is with it's I think it's his defensive timing and how he really reacts to certain plays. I think his reaction time has dwindled down over his actual speed, because he's still fast, he's still quick, and he's still able to read and adjust to coverages and shit like that. But yeah, you have to be somebody like T.Y. Hilton to even really give him a problem. I mean, sometimes the only time he even gives up if this is a high point pass, and the only two people I've really seen high point and just glove on him like that was when Dez Bryant gloved on him and when fucking Alshon Jeffrey gloved on him, and that wasn't even his fault. He was there. He didn't get burned or nothing like that. It's just the man who went up to get the ball gets paid too. He's 6'3" for a reason. 6'3", 230. So I'm probably gonna end up bringing this to a close. But before I do, I'm gonna discuss some of the free agents that we should be targeting before I bring this video to a close. I feel we should target Le'Veon Bell. I feel we should target um Daryl Morris and Saffold. If if I could sign any, I would sign those three players and I would be happy. I don't think I'm not sure. I have to look at the corners again. I got to look at the corners again. I forgot who's coming out at corner, that's testing free agency. But none of these corners that's coming out is finna get top end money. So I'm not even willing. Trent Brown plays for the Patriots. I'm done with the Patriots. I'm done with I don't want no Patriots. If the Patriots let him go, if he's being released, I don't want him. He ain't finna work out for this team. Ravens about to cut Smith. Jimmy Smith? Are you serious? Wow. We could use Jimmy Smith. Press corner, can run press man, good at bump and run. He has good technique. I mean, he could be, yeah, they need Cap. Yeah, man. And he's still young enough to get us over the hump. Yeah, Jimmy Smith to a 2 or 3 year deal. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I want Le'Veon on this team because I feel like they're gonna end up letting go of Alfred Blue, and I feel like if they end up getting rid of, Alfred Blue, you make ways for other things, and you don't have to worry about running back for like 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And running backs are plentiful. You can get a running back every single year. That's exactly why their position is being devalued as it is right now. Dudes is coming out of college running 1,600 yards, getting 12 plus touchdowns just about every season, and somehow these dudes be winning the offensive player of the year. They be getting all kind of accolades, cards on Madden and shit like that. So finding a running back is probably the easiest position on the offense. It's not hard to spot good running back talent. Could you sign Verrett to a minimum? If Verrett wasn't as injury prone, I would say go ahead and give him like a 4 year deal. But I could only give Verrett like a 2 year deal. I couldn't openly say that I'm gonna give him a 3+ year deal with the amount of injury concerns that he's had. He has 2 back-to-back ACLs, and when he's gotten on the field, I mean, he's been able to perform. It's not that he's not a good player, but he's too risky for me to go ahead, and if I had to invest in a player in free agency, he wouldn't be the one. I'd invest in probably somebody like a cheaper option like Bradley Roby or somebody like that. I'd probably check out the LeBlanc kid from the Eagles or somebody like that. But it's not too many guys that are coming out at the corner spot who are going to end up helping the franchise, but they will add solid depth for a franchise, and that's what you really need. I think you need to get your bookend corner in the draft, which would be Greedy Williams or Armani. Byron Jones isn't a free agent. Hell no, he ain't no free agent. And if he is, he finna get fucking trust me, they not gonna the Cowboys not letting him go. Missed almost 40 games on 4 years. That's not good enough. Not that he don't have talent. Veretta's a very good talent. I love his talent. I love his speed. I love what he brings on the football field. But the man just can't stay healthy, and I'm not willing to have another Kevin Johnson situation and we losing money in the process. I'm not willing to do that. But I think the Texans would get Armani and Love in the draft. You talking about Julian Love? Yeah, he been getting a lot of love. I know Bryce Love and all these guys, they've been getting a lot of love. As far as running backs, I think if you took like Travion Mullen or Bryce Love, somebody like that. Well, not Bryce Love because Bryce Love coming off of a fucking injury, but um, it's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys in the draft if they want to get a running back. But I don't trust them to get a running back in the draft because what running back in the draft have they gotten that has took them anywhere? David Montgomery, yeah, he's another one. Benny Snell, all of those guys, yeah, all of those guys, man, are very good prospects. Very, very, very good running back prospects. Yeah, I like all of those guys. But, you know, Hunter Renfro, if you're going to go for a receiver, that's who I want them to go get. I feel like if you go get a guy like Hunter Renfro, which is probably going to end up being available between the fifth and seventh rounds, but I really feel he's going to be able to be another explosive piece, especially if you lose a guy like DeAndre Carter. I think if you lose DeAndre Carter, because you definitely going to end up cutting, um, oh boy, what's his name? Damn, I can't even remember his name. Number 17. Y'all know the receiver, the one who caught the pass in the Eagles game. Vincent Smith. Yeah, I just feel like they're gonna end up letting all of these guys go. They're gonna start fresh. I see them cutting Kareem Jackson. I don't see him playing another season here. He did it. He did it. So he's done what he's needed to do in his time period being here as a Houston Texan. Him and J. Joe gonna always be friends. I think he's gonna always have a close spot for Houston. I think he'll still live in Houston. When it's all said and done. During the offseason and shit like that. But I don't foresee him getting re-signed by this football team. And it's about time to make that move. It's sad to see him go. Yeah, he's had like 2 good seasons since he's been here. Some other seasons he's been okay, but he hasn't really provided. What's going on, Baylor? He hasn't really provided the extra coverage and shit like that that we really need. And I'm tired of guys just getting like 2 and 3 interceptions a season. We need guys that can actually break on the ball and can get anywhere upwards from 5 to 8 interceptions a season. They don't target J. Joe like that, so it's hard for him to really get interceptions the way that they want. When you really look at who gets picked on this team, Kareem Jackson, especially when it comes to Tom Brady, he always gets picked on by Tom Brady and always will. So when you think about that, we need to get the smaller guys out of the way because I don't trust him to come down in the box and the safety and guard a guy like Julian Edelman. And Lord forbid we end up losing the corner and he has to step up and play the corner role again, which is very possible with this football team. Why do you want him in the slot where he's going to end up getting abused by the better quarterbacks in the league? And that's all I'm going to say about that. But let me go against some of you guys' comments real quick before I go ahead and bring this stream to a close. It was a good one. It's a good hour, man. It don't even feel like I've been talking for an hour, but you know this time is constantly ticking. I appreciate all y'all coming through. Make sure y'all check out Honcho. Go to his description box. Make sure y'all donate $5 to his Streamlabs so we can maintain the sauce. Because if the sauce don't help support him after he's been giving the sauce so much support, then the sauce will no longer be no more. So if y'all didn't watch his video earlier, it's a situation where he's gonna end up having an opportunity and he's not gonna have the time to do the sauce anymore. Not at least not anytime soon. So y'all make sure y'all go on over to Honcho stuff, man. Go to his Streamlabs and go ahead and donate $5 or whatever you can. If you can do more, he appreciates that as well. But if you can donate $1, go ahead and do that. Should we sign a left tackle? Fuck no. I already said Trent Brown is a no-go for me. Trent Brown is definitely a logo. Joseph gets beat by the speedsters like any other corner. Exactly. And at the end of the day, bro, you done ran long games. You got to tackle motherfuckers, bro. You're not finna have the same type of standard that you started at the end of a game that you had at the beginning of the game. Yeah, Ramsey like 6'1", 210. Yeah. Yeah, that's prototypical size, man. That's really what you need in today's corners. You need guys that have that type of size and length. He seemed like more like a Ramsey. Said the same Julian Love. Greedy. I like Julian Love, but Greedy's better in my opinion. That's just how I feel. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, Ashmill. We will never see the potential of Clowney on the Texans. I don't want guys' careers ruined. I could get with that, but like I say, the only justifiable reason not to resign Clowney is if you stay with the same 3-4 scheme that you've been running. You keep him an outside linebacker. You'll never get what you want. But regardless if the man gets signed or not, people gonna love it or hate the situation regardless. Well, I don't understand why people have so much shit against Jadeveon Clowney anyway. He's never done anything to anybody. He doesn't bother anybody. The man shows up on the field and somehow he's an average to mediocre player in some guys' eyes. But whatever. It's no point in trying to reach people that can't be reached. Jawan James, Miami want to keep him. That sucks. Donovan James, Darrell Williams from the Panthers would be ideal. Hell yeah, he would be ideal. I'm gonna try to donate. But I don't know. What you mean you don't know? It's either you can or you can't. Do you think Whitney Mercilus would be traded or cut in the future? From the way it's looking and the way that it's sounding, especially when you think about how Bill O'Brien feels about him when he's talked about the situation, it's like even though Whitney Mercilus voiced his concerns as to how he was being used and, this and that in the scheme, I can almost guarantee you in Bill O'Brien's mind, he like, bro, fuck what you talking about. Either you going to get it done my way or you're not going to get it done at all and we'll cut your ass. So we might end up being in a much even better cap situation if we do end up cutting and or trading Whitney Mercilus. He's not going to count against the cap anyway. His contract is just about done. So I think he has another year on his contract, So I personally would extend him, but I see the reason why the Texans wouldn't extend him if they do want to end up shopping him, because that's the only way I think we're really going to be able to pick up any extra picks is if we shop Whitney Mercilus. Because if you let go of Whitney Mercilus, it is no way you can cut Jadeveon Clowney. I love Duke. I like Duke, but it's almost like Ray Ray said earlier in the chat that we had on the discussion offline. If we let go of Clowney, fucking Mercilus is not going to be too far behind. And at the same time, yeah, you're going to get Duke, but Duke going to be playing out of position as well when he should be playing D line as like Clowney's supposed to be playing, and they'll still find a way to make some stupid ass pick in the first round, or they're gonna end up addressing needs that are not as precious as you need. So it's hard to say what's gonna end up going on with this football team. Foreman can be working hard on his IG story. I'll check that out probably when I get up off of here. Yes, sir. Foreman coming for Lamar Miller job, bro. We'll see. I wouldn't get too. I wouldn't get too. I like Saffold too. I definitely want to get Saffold. Foreman also getting an opportunity this upcoming season. They aren't giving up on him yet. Surprising, bro. They can say whatever they want in March. Let's see what happens in August and September. That's what counts. Let's see when the 53-man roster is settled. Then we'll find out where Deontay Foreman is on this football team. I want him to stay. Me saying what I'm saying about Deontay Foreman does not mean that I don't want him to stay and I don't want to see him flourish. And he's from Texas, so I know he's gonna show out when he gets it. But to say that Bill O'Brien is gonna have his same interest and he's gonna think the way that we do, bro, let's just be real. Who's the fucking head coach and who's calling the plays for Foreman? Oh wait, his name is Billy O. So I can't trust that. And he's cut a third round of the last 3 consecutive years. He didn't give Lewis Nix a chance. He didn't give Jalen. He didn't give Jalen or Braxton a chance. But yet somehow he's gonna let a running back from Texas that plays in Texas a chance, bro, get out of here. I don't until I see it, I ain't gonna believe it. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call the stream to an end, man, because it was another topic that I wanted to talk about that I don't want to coincide with this video. So y'all make sure y'all be tuned in for the streams. I'm gonna be on the show with Honcho tonight. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Shout out to everybody in the chat who showed up. Everybody that hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all go support Honcho, man. Support Honcho. Support Honcho because we need Honcho to stay here. We need Honcho to stay here. So I ask y'all. I mean, y'all can't donate to me. If y'all want to donate, if y'all got some tax money, man, slide that boy 20 or something. Slide him a 20, a hundo if you can. Shit, I already donated like $20, $30. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my part because, he helped us. He allowed us on his platform. We've elevated. He ain't taking no credit for nobody's talent. He knew we all knew what we could do. Some guys were out way before him, but they still grown. Even because of Honcho, and Honcho is a pioneer for Houston sports. So I appreciate everything the man's done. I'm gonna continue to ride with him, whatever path that he has to go down. We're gonna be there to support him no matter what. But we want to make sure that we keep the sauce dripping till the wheels fall out. So welcome to Third Coast Sports TV. I'm your host Wink. Talk sports, love sports, enjoy.